Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're stepping into a really unique space. It's not just text, it's almost a soundscape. We're diving into Edgar Allan Poe's classic poem, The Bells. Our mission really is to peel back the layers here, to actually listen to the poem and trace this incredible, sometimes, quite dark journey through life that Poe maps out using bells. You might think, bells, okay, simple enough. But I think by the end of this, you'll hear them very differently.
Well, absolutely. It's quite remarkable how Poe takes this everyday object, these bells, and uses them to track the whole arc of human experience, from pure joy right through to terror and despair. He's not just describing sounds. It's more like he's conducting an orchestra of words, making you feel every single shift through his incredible control of rhythm, sound, repetition. It's just pure Poe genius. It really needs to be heard, not just read. The bells is such a prime example of Poe's skill, his artistry. It shows how deeply he understood the way poetic tools can, well, almost physically pull the reader in. The poem itself is broken down into four parts, four sections. Each one focuses on a different kind of bell: silver, gold, brass, iron, and each one represents a different stage of life, or maybe a dominant emotion. So we go from that sort of bright, youthful joy, then into the warmth of love, then a sudden jolt of alarm, and finally, well, the heaviness of death.
And what always gets me is how he doesn't just tell you what the bells sound like, he makes you hear them. You feel the vibrations almost. He's using all those techniques, onomatopoeia, alliteration, that driving repetition, not just as fancy tricks, but to actually mimic the sounds right there in your head. How does he pull that off? It really becomes this auditory journey, doesn't it? Making you feel it through the sound itself.
Well, he's incredibly deliberate about word choice. He picks words where the sound itself echoes the meaning. Onomatopoeia is the obvious one, but it's more than that. It's the rhythm, the patterns, the way certain consonants clash or flow. He understands that language works on the senses, by sort of flooding you with these sounds and rhythms. He kind of bypasses your logical brain and hits you right in the emotions. He's literally building a soundscape in your mind.
Okay, let's get into it then. Section 1 opens with silver bells, and right away, that line, "What a world of merriment their melody foretells." What's the first hit there? What does he want us to feel?
Pure, almost uncomplicated joy. And what's really clever, I think, is how he almost overwhelms us with this feeling right at the start. It's so bright, so innocent. He's setting a baseline almost. He's filling us up with this pure happiness so that when the darkness comes later, the contrast feels even sharper, more visceral. It's definitely deliberate. And you hear it immediately, that tinkle, tinkle, tinkle. It's light, it's crisp, and the icy air of night. You instantly picture winter, maybe sleigh rides, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and he connects that sound, that earthly tinkling, to the sky. Stars that oversprinkle all the heavens seem to twinkle with a crystalline delight. It's like everything earth and heaven is sharing this joyful moment. Then there's that line, keeping time, 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 in a sort of runic rhyme. Runic rhyme.
All right.
That sounds ancient, doesn't it? Like there's something almost magical or deeply patterned about this rhythm.
Exactly. The repetition of time, time, time creates this hypnotic, almost trance-like feel. It draws you in. And then that amazing word, tintinnabulation. It sounds like ringing bells, doesn't it? He follows it up with just hammering home bells, 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 bells. It's not subtle at all. It builds and builds into this massive wave of jingling and tinkling sound. You're completely immersed. So yeah, this first section, Silver Sleigh Bells, it's all about pure, unclouded joy, youthful energy, winter, stars, crystal cold, almost magical merriment. It's the sound of just uncomplicated happiness. Sets the stage perfectly.
Okay, so from that bright, crisp silver, we shift gears. Section 2 introduces the mellow wedding bells, golden bells. You feel the change immediately, don't you? Silver to gold, sleighs to weddings. It feels richer, warmer somehow. What does that shift to golden signal?
Well, golden brings connotations of value, warmth, richness, absolutely, but also harmony. What a world of happiness their harmony foretells. The sound itself, the harmony, reflects the union, the coming together. It sets a tone of deep contentment, promise, optimism.
And the scene he paints feels different too. Through the balmy air of night, how they ring out their delight. It's softer than the icy air, isn't it? More gentle, romantic. Suggests this kind of quiet, growing joy.
Oh, the imagery is beautiful here. He talks about molten golden notes like liquid goals, and a liquid ditty floats to the turtle dove that listens while she gloats on the moon. I mean, turtle doves, the moon. These are classic symbols of love, romance, purity. It's all tied into the natural world, serene and beautiful. And there's this sense of expansion, of hope. What a gush of euphony voluminously wells, how it swells, how it dwells on the future. It's looking forward, brimming with positive expectation.
It feels more active, too, compared to the tinkling. Lines like, the rapture that impels to the swinging and the ringing of the bells. It's not just happy, it's this passionate driving force behind the sound.
Exactly right. This section really embodies love, fulfilled joy, and that hopeful look towards a shared future. The sound is mellower, yes, but also harmonious, deeply emotional. It's like a golden promise ringing out, full of hope.
All right, deep breath now, because the mood is about to shatter. Section 3 hits us with the loud alarm bells, brazen bells.
Yeah.
Brazen. That word alone signals a change. We're leaping from harmony and gold to something loud, harsh, urgent. What kind of terror are these brazen bells unleashing?
It's sheer chaos, panic. What tale of terror now their turbulency tells? That word turbulency, it just screams disorder, violence, a complete flip from the harmony before. And notice the personification, the bells themselves are terrified. Too much horrified to speak. They can only shriek, shriek out of tune. They aren't just ringing, they're shrieking, discordant, desperate. It really amplifies that sense of emergency, things falling apart.
And the sound hits you like a physical blow. In the startled ear of night, how they scream out their affright, it's not just loud, it's a scream. Violent, piercing, instant fear response. Then he throws in that terrifying fire imagery, in a clamorous appealing to the mercy of the fire, begging the fire for mercy, in a mad expostulation with the deaf and frantic fire, leaping higher, higher, higher. It's horrific. You see the flames, hear the desperate bells.
Yeah, the chaos, the discord. It really captures that gut-level panic you feel when, say, a fire alarm goes off. It bypasses thought, goes straight for that primal fear. What a tale their terror tells of despair, how they clang and clash and roar. What a horror they outpour on the bosom of the palpitating air. The words themselves, clang, clash, roar, are so harsh, so violent, and palpitating air. It's like the air itself is trembling with fear, like a heart pounding in panic.
And Poe nails how we instinctively track danger through sound. Yet the ear it fully knows by the twanging and the clanging, how the danger ebbs and flows. Yet the ear distinctly tells in the jangling and the wrangling how the danger sinks and swells by the sinking or the swelling and the anger of the bells. It's this dynamic, shifting threat, all conveyed through this angry, relentless noise.
So this section is pure fear, chaos, despair, probably linked to fire, some kind of emergency. The sound is deliberately harsh, jarring, discordant. It's a frantic struggle against something overwhelming, uncontrollable. The sound of raw alarm. What a contrast.
Okay. We've gone from silver joy to golden love to brazen terror. Now we reach the end, the final section. The tolling of the bells. Iron bells. Iron. Just the metal feels heavy, final, cold. So different from silver and gold. And the poem calls their sound a monody. What does that word immediately tell us emotionally?
Monody is crucial. It means a single mournful song or tone, often a lament for the dead. So right away, it sets this mood of deep sorrow, solemn thought, melancholy. This isn't just sadness, it's compelling. What a world of solemn thought their monody compels. It forces you into introspection. And it's chilling, too. In the silence of the night, how we shiver with affright at the melancholy menace of their tone, there's a threat in this sadness, an oppressive weight.
And he makes the sound itself feel diseased, decayed. For every sound that floats from the rust within their throats is a groan. The bells aren't singing or ringing, they're groaning. Like they're in pain, it's grim. But then it gets really weird. He introduces these figures. And the people are the people they that dwell up in the steeple. All alone, they're neither man nor woman. They are neither brute nor human. They are ghouls. What is that about? Ghouls in the belfry?
This is where Poe pushes it beyond just mourning into something much darker almost. Perverse. These ghouls, they tolling in that muffled monotone. But here's the twist. They feel a glory in so rolling on the human heart a stone. They're not mourning, they're reveling in the sorrow they're causing. It's a morbid triumph, a sinister satisfaction taken in human despair. It's profoundly unsettling.
Wow, so the tolling itself becomes this instrument of morbid joy for these ghouls. That contrast is chilling. While the sound is heavy and mournful, the source is celebrating. He even says the Ghoul King gets a paean from the bells. A paean is a song of triumph. So the king dances and he yells to the throbbing, the sobbing, the knells, the moaning, and the groaning. It's a horrific party celebrating death.
Precisely. So this final section is death, mourning, despair, yes. But it's complicated by these ghouls. The sound is heavy, somber, weighty, But it's made deeply disturbing because these inhuman figures find a perverse pleasure in it. They twist sorrow into a kind of grotesque celebration for themselves. It leaves you with this truly unforgettable, deeply unsettling sense of finality.
It's just masterful, isn't it? How he uses the changing metals, silver, gold, brass, irons, the changing sounds, the changing context, to map out literally a whole life cycle. From that first innocent joy, through love's warmth, the shock of crisis, right to the finality of death and this weird, ghoulish layer on top. It's all in the bells. How does he make that progression feel so complete, so powerful?
I think it's because the sound is the story. His use of onomatopoeia, rhythm, repetition, it's not just decoration. It's the engine driving the emotional journey. He makes you, the listener, feel that progression through the sheer sonic texture of the language. It's this perfect marriage of form and content, where the sound directly embodies the meaning. It creates this visceral internal experience.
Yeah, absolutely. And each section, even though they feel so different, the light tinkling versus the heavy groan, they build on each other, don't they? It creates this full arc, this sense of inevitability, perhaps, all told through the sounds of bells. It's like a whole life compressed into these four stages of sound. A powerful reminder, really.
And that's why the bells, I think, endures. It really is a testament to what poetry can do, capturing the entire sweep of human emotion using something as seemingly simple as bells.
Ooh.
Poe just reveals the profound resonance hiding in everyday sounds, showing us these universal truths about life, love, fear, and death.
So, maybe a final thought for you listening. The next time you actually hear bells, maybe distant church chimes or wedding bells, hopefully not an alarm bell or perhaps a slow tolling pause for a second. What story do those bells tell you? What feelings do they stir up? How does their specific sound shape how you feel in that moment? Think about the soundtrack they provide to your own life. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into Poe's amazing, chilling, and incredibly resonant world of sound and emotion. We'll catch you next time.